Hi, and welcome to the Grace and Balance channel. And today we have a very special guest. His name is Justin Donne. He is a consultant from Donne Company, an upcoming author and speaker. Hi, Justin. How are you?
Hi, I'm terrific. Thank you. How
Yeah,
about you?
yeah, I'm great. I'm great. First things first, please give us a brief background about yourself and talk about also how you started as a consultant and.
Sure. I'll make it a quick one,
Mhm,
but I was born. I'm half French, half
mhm,
American, and I reside in England now, 10 years. So I'm a citizen of all three countries, and I didn't have a great upbringing with my family when it comes to relationships.
mhm,
I had great role models for that from my grandparents, but from
mhm,
my parents, I had individual love from each of them. So I get along very well with each of them individually,
mhm,
but as a couple, they didn't function too well. My grandfather was a businessman on my mother's side. And so I used to love, ever since I was 4 or 5 years old, to go into the shoe store in Paris because he owned a shoe store and some real estate, import, export. And I used to really, really love to go in there
mhm,
and basically, do some business with them, serve
mhm.
the customer. One of the
Wow.
things I really enjoyed doing. And my uncle Jacques went into the business with him, as did all my cousins. And I learned so much about serving customers, over delivering,
Mhm,
exchanging in abundance through
mhm,
those people, through my family, ever
mhm,
since I was very, very young, 7 years old. And so then we obviously lived in the United States. I grew up there, not in France. So this would only happen during the summers, during vacations and holidays. But
mhm,
as I grew up, I went to a special school for the gifted and talented, which was a privilege. And I do
mhm,
understand that, and I'm grateful for that privilege. But one of the advantages of that school is that we got to design our own curriculum, really. We met all of the requirements, obviously, the state requirements and all of that, but we got to study what we were interested in. So I was personally always interested in the classics. So I was interested in mathematics. I
mhm,
was interested in literature, and I was interested in science. So I went very, very far with that and earned college credits so that
mhm,
when I went to university, to Northwestern University, I was able to leverage some of that to make it go a little bit quicker and earn my degree in communications. Backtracking a little bit though,
mhm,
while in high school, I did a couple other things. I got to present the science award to the inventor of the rechargeable battery, Channel 4, WDIV, the NBC affiliate in Detroit. So I got to present the science award to him. And what was really interesting is that I had to speak directly after the keynote speaker, which was Maya Angelou.
mhm,
And Rosa Parks was there as well. And I
mhm,
got to meet them, have discussions with them,
mhm,
and I'm not going to say I made friends with them, but I was certainly intrigued and I learned a tremendous amount from them. I
mhm,
have been a diversity and inclusion and inclusivity
mhm,
champion in
mhm,
all of my career ever since high school.
mhm.
Also, at the same time, I studied the martial arts. I'm a second degree
Oh,
black belt in karate, and I
oh.
got to not only train to that level, but also to start teaching
Mhm,
once I earned my black belt. And I was one of the only people that
mhm.
Grandmaster Adams ever paid,
Oh.
because normally you don't pay them, it's expected. You kind of give back in a way as
Mhm,
you're a black belt. However, it was either that or I needed a summer job between my university years and high school years. And so Sensei said, well, instead of you go getting a summer job,
mhm,
come work here, run the dojo, and I'll pay you. And so
mhm,
that's what he did. And so I learned a tremendous amount about running a business, about teaching, about
mhm,
commanding a class,
mhm,
and also about physical and spiritual things, because the martial arts is not an exclusively physical activity. There's the
mhm,
code of the martial artist and lots of lessons there.
mhm,
So that took me to there. And when I finished university, I
mhm,
moved out to Hollywood to try
mhm,
my career in acting. I
mhm,
supported myself through various means. One of them was starting a small business, a travel agency, which I had to shut down after 9/11. But it was a really interesting learning experience.
Did you
Yeah,
get to act?
I did do quite a bit of acting. That's a little bit of a detour, but I'll tell you a little bit about it. So I was in Mad TV. I earned my Screen Actors Guild card on 6 episodes of Mad TV on Fox, and it was a lot of fun. And I'm still a member. I maintain that membership to this day because it's fun. It's part of my history, and it was also such a difficult and incredible barrier to get in, but I just maintained the membership. But the other part of it is, what else did I do? I did a voiceover for a video game called Psy Girls or Cool Girls, depending on what
Wow.
market it's at, for Sony PlayStation 2.
Mhm.
I did a bunch of other little voiceover works on radio and television.
Can you do a sound?
Let's see, what can I remember? So from now, nobody needs to take offense to this, but the character I was hired to do for Psy Girls for Sony PlayStation 2 was Mr. Puri. And so the voice I did, I spoke like this. My name is Mr. Puri, and I am here, blah, 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 blah. And of course, we did 30 minutes of, all the noises as you fighting, because it's an action game, play action game. I also did lots of other voices, such as, Tac dudes, take the downhill challenge, that kind of stuff. So I did all kinds of things like that. And I also did front voices like this. I could be Mickey. I did that a little bit as well. And so we just had a lot of fun. At a certain point, I was almost in How I Met Your Mother, got the call back. I was almost in The Big Bang Theory, got the call back. And Tom Hardy beat me for the part in Star Trek Nemesis. So I was walking out of the Paramount studio, fronted by Tom Cruise, who looked directly at me and said, "Are you coming?" I had no idea what he was talking about. I didn't really know him personally. So I kind of I was young. This is a good 20 years ago. So I freaked out and went back to my car and went home. And my friend said I was really stupid. He was basically going to the studio's private screening of Mission Impossible 2. And I said, yeah, but I didn't have a security pass. And they're like, stupid. If you're with Tom Cruise, nobody's going to stop you. Like, oh, okay. That's a good point. Too late. Basically, those experiences, though, of not getting those parts, and after 10 years, roughly, it wasn't fun anymore. It got to be a process I didn't enjoy. So I enjoyed acting. I still would, I guess, but I really felt bad about the process of auditioning and going through all that. So it was time to move. It was time to do something different. So I reached out to one of my former customers through the travel agency, and I went to work for him. He was a very well-known and renowned television producer, second unit director in the stunt world. And so I just went to work for him. I ran the holding company. I was the managing director, whatever you want to call it. I didn't really have a job title. I just ran the show for him, the holding company, the working household, nightclub in Las Vegas, as well as the production company. That was an interesting experience because through my some of my techniques and tools and investigative talents, I was able to detect and catch and remove corporate embezzler who had stolen $1.5 million from him. When Charlie retired, I then decided to move into Disneyland. Again, that was an opportunity that I had. So I went to go to Disneyland, then Disneyland Paris. Then I worked for Prince Charles and his charity. And all the while I've been doing independent consulting on my own in the realm of strategy, policy. So if you picture there's a business and they're struggling with performance, productivity, a lot of people tell me we don't have time for strategy. They don't produce strategy. They produce these documents that have nothing to do with strategy. They're marketing. They've got some nice words on them, but they're not a strategic direction. They don't lead to growth. They don't help you to get ahead. So I can leverage all of my lifetime of experience along with experience with blue chip companies and the most successful for-profit, not-for-profit companies, and leverage that and transfer that knowledge to companies just starting, to businesses, big and small, and that's it, really.
As a consultant and speaker, could you please share some tips on what to do to prevent burnout, especially for those doing multiple projects all at once?
Yeah, and that's a good point because, when it comes to doing multiple projects, I'm also doing that. So in addition to, consulting on a regular basis, I'm also creating a system to this to try and automate, to try and share it with a wider audience for people who maybe can't afford to have me come in one-on-one, but they can afford potentially a system. And I'm also passionate about cats, and I'm creating a cat system as well. So I am doing multiple projects all around information, innovation, and inspiration. That's why they call me the director of inspiration, because it's all around those things, but they are multiple projects. And so I have been burned out in the past. And in fact, I wrote an article, which I'll share with you, and you can share with your readers and listeners and your people, with the Institute of Directors, having to do with stress and mental health in the workplace. Burnout, mental health, all of these are linked. And so some of the things that I pointed out in that sort of case study will be very relevant to this. So to prevent it really is an interesting thing, because there are times, I think, in life where you cannot really prevent it. You can manage your priorities, you can be very self-aware, and there will likely be times where you realize that you've taken on too much and you just need to clear the slate, take a break, tell your people, look, I'm a bit toast. So don't call me for 3 days. I'm
Mm-mm.
going to be out of touch. I'm going to turn the technology off, read a
Mm-mm.
book, watch a movies,
Mm-mm.
eat, and not be contactable. Sometimes it is necessary to do that, to just clear the schedule and recognize when you're no longer being productive. So I don't think there is 100% foolproof way to prevent it, but to recognize what to do when you're at it. However, a good priority management system is, of course, the best way to make sure that you're dealing with everything that comes into your universe, into your life,
Mm-mm.
business, and experience.
Do you use any app for this?
No, I use a system called the Priority Manager. This
Mm-hmm.
is a company based in Canada. They have multiple online systems that they can teach and train people on how to use Outlook, iPhone calendars, and all of this. My preference is the paper-based system that they have because I believe it's more effective. And so I just buy their paper-based calendar system, and I had some training on it, how to use it, of course, and I just purchase that every year and refill it, and that's what I use. And I'm not perfect at it, so I'm not trying to hold myself up. However, that is the best system that I can recommend. I've tried all of those apps out there. I've tried Trello. I've tried Asana. I've tried Basecamp. I've tried all of the different ones, and they're all good, but I don't think they help with what we're talking about.
For those who feel lost, do you have any tips on how to clarify and discover their purpose in life?
Sure. Now, I'm not a life coach. Can't really make a recommendation or personally coach someone in discovering their purpose, but I can say that what's helped me a lot in figuring out what I want to do is to link up, to hook up, and to invest in somebody who has their energy awakened in such a way that they are living and achieving their purpose, whatever that purpose may be. So there are phenomenal people out there that I have worked with and invested with in various points in my life. For example, one of those people we know is Joel Bauer. Fantastic. I am currently one of his students, and I envisage that I will be for a good long time. Some of the other people include Kevin Trudeau. I am still, to this day, one of Kevin's students on his current course that he's doing. Those are the only two mentors that I'm currently invested in financially on a regular basis today and every day, and for the foreseeable future. However, there are other phenomenal people that can help. For example, a woman named Alita St. James in New York, and also available online. And there are most likely other people like that. There are coaching companies, like a beautiful company called the Best Life Coaching, Best Life Creation Society, that help you in that way. Another phenomenal organization. But the key message isn't for me to say, pick one of those off the list. Those are just the ones that I've had personal experience and success with. But the suggestion really here is to repeat, to link up with somebody, even if it's a friend, a family member, who can be a mentor. And the key is that that person has their energy awakened. There is no magical miracle way to know whether they do or they don't, because it's a feeling that you'll get lit up, if you will, by contacting them, by either speaking with them or being exposed to their marketing messages, to be turned on or turned off by those messages. The ones that really turn you on and indicate to you and light you up are the ones to go with. And they may be right for a short period of time or a long period of time, but that is, in my opinion, the best way to do that. I don't think there's a solution to do that by yourself alone, unless you are able to, but most people can't, take time alone by yourself, without other people, without the internet, in nature, perhaps, in seclusion in some way. Doesn't have to be nature, but that's ideal. A little bit like Buddha or Jesus or all of these people did. And if you could do that, then by yourself, I believe you can discover your life purpose. But most people can't do that. Can't say, well, I'm going to take 3 months in seclusion away from technology and other people. So the next best thing is, of course, to link up with somebody who has already and who is already living their particular life purpose, whatever that purpose may be, whether it's in business or marketing or therapy or coaching or any modality out there.
Do you sometimes feel overwhelmed, and what do you do in order to
Mm.
cope?
Oh, sure. Of course I do. Again, I have so many things on, and I gift my time to different organizations because that I enjoy doing, that I believe in, that I want to support. So I do feel stretched sometimes, and I'm a member of several clubs and societies. And so sometimes, yeah, I got responsibilities coming in here or there. What do? I'm making money. All of these pressures come in. So there are definitely times where I feel overwhelmed more than I'd like. To cope with that, to deal with it, again, I look at various things that can help. So obviously friends, talking with people who have your best interest, of course, not idiots. That's one thing that can help. Taking some time out can help. Taking time off and away from those activities. Sometimes you get so introverted into a particular activity, it becomes overwhelming. So the solution to that is to extrovert. So you're reaching into it. You just withdraw from it for a period of time, short period of time. Watch movies. You take a break. You go for walks. There are some phenomenal things that help as well, such as EFT or TFT, thought field therapy or emotional freedom techniques, which is forms of tapping. Those help tremendously with feelings such as anxiety or whatever. There are practitioners out there such as Arifa Ali that guide you through it with their systems and processes, or you can just do it by yourself because most of this information is available online. Nutrition is incredibly important. When I'm feeling good, when my body is healthy, it makes it easier to deal with everything. When I have made poor choices, such as maybe, drinking, and I don't drink very often, but, once in a while I enjoy some wine or beer or whatever, or rum, or that doesn't matter, but, once in a while. And same thing with eating. I generally try to eat healthy and eat well most of the time, but there are times, of course, where, I just want to eat something I know isn't great for my body. So those are the times where the door is open. The door is open for the feelings of overwhelm or anxiety. A lot of people think they have anxiety. They probably have a reaction to something they're eating or smelling or putting on their body or in their body. But that's another story. And again, I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a health practitioner. But when your body is not functioning optimally, the door's open for those feelings. So one thing to do is to try and focus on making healthy choices, both dietary, drinking enough, things that most people will know what to do. So choose the salad. Maybe not the cheeseburger.
Lastly, please tell us about your upcoming book or events.
Sure. So I am currently working on a book, which I am calling To Lead is to Teach, Significance, Impact, and Contribution. It is, of course, a lot of my information, but it is augmented with 10 to 12, I think, interviews with various business leaders who have achieved significant impact and contribution. So these are none of them are people who have used people, who have gotten ahead by stepping on people and taking advantage of people or any kind of dishonesty. These are all people that have believed in that concept, even though none of them have said it in those words. To lead is to teach, to build your people, and the people will build your business. And so while they are very diverse, some of them are well-known business people. Some of those names you may recognize, or you may recognize the name of their company. And some of them are people you will not recognize because they're family businesses that are perhaps locally to me. They have all achieved a tremendous amount of success as business people by nurturing their people and lifting them up. And so that is what the book is about. That is what I'm passionate about when it comes to that. That is the main thing I'm working on presently.
Okay, we'll look forward to that. Okay, so thank you so much, Justin.